Tonight, teachers refused to enter a secondary school in Castries after a group of masked gunmen stormed the premises on Wednesday. The leader of the opposition calls on government to disclose the final details of its port development deal with GPH. And Caribbean Women in Leadership continues to train women wishing to take on leadership roles.
The first segment of the Hot 7 TV Nightly News is brought to you with the kind compliments of Susie's Variety.
He said he was going to cook. He said it was a special Indian dish. Bring my appetite, he said. Fresh shrimp or salmon, he asked. Vegan, I replied. Dessert, he hinted. Fresh fruits for sure, I responded. From the giant, I asked. He was quick to say no. Only from Susie's Variety. Small store, big love. Susie's Variety. Located in Cantonment Vieux-Fort and Bois de Rage, Rosie-Lay. Telephone 458-4161 or 454-8873.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News.
Good evening. It is Thursday, November 9th, 2023. I am Sherry Ann Williams. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. We are on Flow Channel 117, Kiss FM, the Caribbean Hot FM mobile app, and the Caribbean Hot 7 TV Facebook page. Not forgetting those of you using the Hot 7 plug and play antenna. Thank you so much for joining us. Teachers at the Cicero Secondary School refused to enter the classroom on Thursday until their safety concerns were adequately addressed. This comes after a group of armed, masked individuals entered the school compound in search of students allegedly involved in gang activity. We hear more in this report.
Following an incident which unfolded at the educational institution on Wednesday, November 8th, 2023, involving armed assailants decked in masks, teachers at the Cicero Secondary School refused to enter the school compound the next day. The teachers lamented that their safety and that of their students are at risk. They noted that they will only resume their duties upon the complete resolution of the matter. While no official word has been given about the incident by neither school nor ministry officials, unconfirmed reports indicate that on the afternoon of Wednesday, November 8th, at around 3 p.m., 6 masked men entered the school's compound. The men were said to be carrying various weapons, including cutlasses, an axe, a chopper, and bottles. Eyewitnesses say the men were in search of students who it is believed they were in conflict with. Although no injuries were reported, it is alleged that a bus driver engaged in transporting students to and from the school was attacked. There are also reports that a student was also attacked but managed to avoid injury. The Ministry of Education has grappled with school safety issues for quite some time. Since the start of the 2023 school year, a spate of violent acts involving school students have left educators and law enforcement alike at a loss as to how to curb such behavior. Rumors of gang activity in the nation's schools have become increasingly common, yet education officials have been tight-lipped as to whether any evidence of said activities have come to light. Education Minister Sean Edward had pledged a zero-tolerance stance on violence in schools and had committed to ensuring that children would be safe while on school compounds. However, as evidenced by the incident at the Cicero Secondary School earlier this week, a lot more needs to be done to ensure the safety of the island's children and the teachers tasked with their instruction while on the school compound. Reporting for the Hot 7 TV News, I am Eldridge Charles.
Opposition leader Alan Chastanet has raised several concerns about the recently finalized deal with Global Port Holdings for the development of ports Castries and Soufrière. Based on new information that has come to light about the agreement, the Mico North MP has charged the Philip JP administration to publicize the terms of the deal and to clarify certain troubling details. We hear more in this report.
According to opposition leader Alan Chastanet, information has been received that has raised some worrying concerns about the details of the agreement between the government of St. Lucia and Global Port Holdings GPH. Earlier this year, a contractual agreement was signed between Global Port Holdings and the government for the redevelopment of Port Castries and the Soufrière waterfront. Also embedded in the contract is the leasing of Port Castries to GPH for an estimated 40-year period. As part of the agreement, GPH will be taking over a $20 million loan originally obtained by the St. Lucia Air and Sea Ports Authority, SLASPA, and will collect the $5 US fee per cruise passenger, with $1 going to the coffers of the government. The Micoud South MP says the information he has uncovered points to a loan arrangement between Global Port Holdings and the Bank of St. Lucia, of which the government of St. Lucia is a major shareholder. The loan appears to be for the purposes of financing the company's investment in the project.
We have been able to verify some information that indeed is extremely worrisome. We understand that the GPH deal, the Global Ports Holding, have now obtained approval for a loan from the Bank of St. Lucia to undertake the project. Our understanding is that there may be a syndicated loan, but for certain that the Bank of St. Lucia will be lending money to the GPH for its investment in St. Lucia.
According to Chasney, there seems to be a huge discrepancy in the cost-benefit ratio of the project. While GPH will be making a $40 million investment in the ports, they stand to make an estimated $400 million in revenue.
This deal potentially means that GPH can earn upwards of $400 million US over the 40-year period. All we've been told is that GPH is going to be now investing is $40 million. So we think that there's something clearly one-sided with that deal. And it begs the question, why would the government undertake such a deal? Because this is something clearly, whatever expansion they wanted to do, they could have done and financed themselves because the revenue stream was already there.
Chasney has challenged the Prime Minister and the Minister of Investment to publicize the details of the GPH deal as had been previously promised. He challenged the Prime Minister to stay true to his mandate of transparency and accountability and to offer some clarity on the rationale behind the terms of this deal.
The announcement now that the Bank of St. Lucia is providing the loan clearly raises all kinds of questions. So if the loan goes bad, does that mean the banks end up with the assets? Is that what we're putting at risk? Who's guaranteeing the loans? What are the conditions of these loans? And why would the government of St. Lucia choose to go in this direction?
Reporting for the Hot 7 TV News, I am Eldridge Charles.
The non-governmental institution Caribbean Women in Leadership held a simulated parliamentary sitting on Wednesday, November 8th, geared at providing training for St. Lucian women in politics. The session included a debate of 2 gender-based motions and sought to familiarize participants with strategies to overcome barriers when serving in political roles. Eldridge Charles has the details.
Women's rights advocacy group Caribbean Women in Leadership was established with an aim to change the face of political guidance in the region. The St. Lucia National Chapter of the organization launched a 10-week-long Women in Leadership training program on August 29th, 2023. The training centered around understanding the role of women in the advancement of gender equality in the political landscape and formulating strategies geared at enabling women serving in leadership positions to overcome inherent barriers. To mark the culmination of the initiative, the organization hosted a mock parliamentary sitting on Wednesday at the House of Parliament. Participants who had previously organized themselves into 2 political parties, Helen's Progressive Party and Progressive Alliance Party respectively, held a mock election on October 31st, 2023. The HPP, under the leadership of Zena George, won the election, while Chantel Moise of the Progressive Alliance Party was named the leader of the opposition.
My ministry would like to acknowledge here today, first of all, the Civil St. Lucia chapter on this momentous occasion of the Women in Politics program, which focuses on building leadership skills and empowerment of women who are aspiring to be politicians and future leaders. It's not an easy job here today, but it's a testimony of your willpower to create impactful change as women in society. So well done, and congratulations to Karen, Nyla, and the Civil team, and of course to everyone here today.
As part of the mock sitting, participants presented 2 gender-based motions to the House. The first resolution was presented by Prime Minister Zina K. George, representative of Micoud North.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move the following motion standing in my name. Whereas the increasing cost of living in St. Lucia has placed a financial burden on many citizens. Whereas a livable wage is a human right recognized by the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Whereas addressing income inadequacy will improve the standard of living, stimulate economic growth, and decrease income inequality. Be it resolved that the government of St. Lucia establish a livable minimum wage which has taken into consideration the maintenance of a decent standard of living by ensuring that the basic economic factors such as the cost of food, housing, healthcare, and other basic necessities are within the reach of poor and marginalized.
Reporting for the Hot 7 TV News, I am Eldridge Charles.
Coming up next, the SLP addresses speculation about candidacy selection for the Castries North and Central seats. And the Ministry of Commerce moves to empower MSMEs with an introduction to a cashless system. Stay with us for the details to these stories and so much more when the broadcast returns after this.
The first segment of the Hot 7 TV Nightly News was brought to you with the kind compliments of Susie's Variety.
You are the guru of groceries. You have a heightened awareness for lower prices. You journey to find freshness and variety and quality brands. And you have an acquired taste for specialty items. You want to set a good example for your followers. And that's why your higher calling is Susie's Variety Store. 2 stores that beat the giants on pricing, variety, and quality. Susie's Variety, small store, big love. Located in Cantonment, Vieux Fort, and Bois d'Orange, Gros-Îlet. Telephone 458-4161.